Hello, Geeky Libertarian here. Welcome to the next episode of 15-Minute Game Show Reviews. First of all, I want to apologize for taking nearly 2 months to make this video. I know I promised at the end of my review of Sale of the Century I would release this video before the end of March. Obviously that didn't happen. Chalk that up to me basically being lazy. Anyway, no more excuses. You're here for a review, so let's get going. You know the drill. I discuss a brief history of the show, the people involved, gameplay, give the show a grade, and how I'd revive it if I was given the chance. Ready? Let's do it.
What TV show lets you run wild through a supermarket?
Supermarket Sweep!
What TV show lets you grab everything you can get your hands on?
Supermarket Sweep!
And what TV show hides $5,000 and then helps you find it?
Supermarket Sweep!
Now we've just hidden another $5,000. So, come and get it. Who's got the Nestle refrigerated cookie dough? Okay, you're on. Who's got the SOS pad? Okay, you're on. Who's got the MJB coffee? Okay, and you're on. It's Supermarket Sweep.
If you grew up in the 90s like I did, you watched this awesome show. Who doesn't dream of running down the aisles of your local supermarket throwing everything you can get into your cart? Plus a chance to win $5,000 on top of that. Supermarket Sweep was created by Al Howard, and it actually dates back to 1965, where it ran on ABC for 2 years. In 1990, Howard brought it back on the Lifetime network, where it became a fan favorite and a staple of 90s pop culture. We're going to cover the 90s version in this review. Supermarket Sweep first debuted on Lifetime on February 5th, 1990, and ran until May 26, 1995. The Lifetime did air reruns until 1997 or so. The show was revived on the PAX network, now called ION, on April 3rd, 2000, and aired new episodes there until May 23rd, 2003. The host of this version was David Ruprecht. Born in St. Louis, David has starred in over 50 different television series, including, not limited to, The Rockford Files, Benson, The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo, Fame, Three's Company, Sane Elsewhere, Small Wonder, Married with Children, and Days of Our Lives. David is also a fellow libertarian and served on the Libertarian Party of California as an executive director. In 2013, he played Ebenezer Scrooge in a direct-to-video sequel of A Christmas Carol titled Mr. Scrooge to See You, which can be downloaded on Amazon Video. David also hosts the live stage version of The Price is Right at several casinos throughout the country. The show's first announcer was Johnny Gilbert. A native of Newport News, Virginia, Johnny is best known as the announcer of the long-running syndicated stalwart Jeopardy, which he has filmed since 1984. Johnny's other game show announcing gigs include the original Price is Right, The Joker's Wild, Sports Challenge, Chain Reaction, the $25,000 Pyramid, the $100,000 Pyramid, Dream House, the $1 million Chance of a Lifetime, Jackpot, Blackout, and briefly Love Connection. The second announcer was Randy West. Originally from New York City, Randy started out as a local DJ and was a contestant on game shows including All-Star Blitz, Face the Music, Hitman, and 1980s game show favorite Press Your Luck, where he won $25,742 in cash and prizes. He became a voiceover announcer in 1990, and his game show resume has included Trivial Pursuit, Hollywood Showdown, and he even filled in on The Price is Right after the death of Rod Roddy in 2003. Randy has also done voiceovers for Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards, It's Gary Shandling's Show, and the Game Show Moments Gone Bananas specials, where he voiced the eponymous Mr. Game Show. Now let's get to gameplay. The format was pretty much the same throughout its runs on both Lifetime and PAX, with several other games and bonuses added throughout the run of the series. The show consisted of 3 segments: the question round, the big sweep, and the bonus sweep. 3 teams of 2 competed. The teams could be married couples, unmarried couples, siblings, best friends, and sometimes they had mothers and their daughters. Contestants were chosen based on who in the audience, or in the show's last 2 seasons, the market itself, held pre-distributed grocery items that the announcer called for at the beginning of the show. All 3 teams were given a base time of 1 minute and 30 seconds to use in the big sweep. Contestants would then answer questions and play games to add more time to their clocks. There were 2 segments where one player from each team would answer questions, followed by a round robin involving both players on a team. Correct answers usually added 10 seconds to their time. Questions that David would ask include guessing which item was being described by a series of facts, guessing the brand name of a product that had been altered, filling in the blank letters of a name of a product, selecting answers from 6 possible choices, or trivia questions about a certain item sold in the market. Some of the games involved the contestant being shown 3 items, and the contestant would guess if an item was priced above or below a certain amount, was not given a price, was on sale, was incorrectly priced, was correctly priced, or was the most expensive. Doing so netted the player who got it right 10 seconds. If all 3 contestants guessed the same item and were all correct, they were given 30 seconds. Other games included the Snack Attack movie game, where David asked 3 questions about movies, and the player who answered the final question right got to take part in a taste test of a snack food. If they guessed correctly on the first try, they won $50 toward their final sweep total. If they were incorrect, David gave them a second chance with 2 possible choices, and if they picked the right one, they won $25. One other game played was the 30-second shootout, which took part in the second half of the question round, where both contestants on a team played. One contestant guessed a series of words, usually 5 to 7 letters long, using the clues given to them by their partner, similar to the pyramid or password. The first letter of each correct answer was a letter in the name of a brand name or item from the market, which the guesser then had to determine to earn 30 seconds for their big sweep. The team had 30 or 40 seconds to do this, depending on the version. Also, an original rule was that once a clue was used on one of the words in the list, it couldn't be used again, and doing so led to the team being disqualified. However, this rule was later scrapped. The final segment was the round robin. The players that played the first half of the game were called back out, and each took turns attempting to answer a series of 4, later 6 puzzles. Usually the team would be shown a scrambled word of an item or brand name, and David would then read 3 clues. Buzzing in with the correct answer won 10 seconds for the team. Sometimes no scrambled word was shown, and David just gave 5 clues describing the item. This was on the Lifetime version, and it was not on the PAX version. Also, beginning in 1991, the mini sweep was added. A toss-up question was asked at the beginning of the show with a particular product as the answer. The team that correctly answered earned 10 seconds, as well as a chance for one team member to run into the market to retrieve that product with the show's logo. If the product was returned in 30 seconds, the team won $50 toward their sweep total. In 1992, bringing the item back within 20 seconds won the team $100. Also, starting in 1993, a second mini sweep was added after the first commercial break. The PAX version only had 1 mini sweep, though on special shows they played 2. Finally, it was time for the whole thing that everybody looked forward to in every show, the big sweep, where one player from each team would run through the market and throw everything they could into their carts. The teams were assigned numbers based on how much time they earned in the question round, with Team 1 going into the market first. When a runner's cart was full, they brought it back to the register and grabbed a fresh one. When time ran out, only items that were in the runner's carts were included in the final team's totals. Now, even though I say they just threw everything into their carts, there were actually 3 main rules during the sweep. Contestants could only take 5 of each item. If an item was knocked off the shelf, the runner who did so had to replace the item on the shelf or put it in their cart, or they would incur a $25 penalty for each item left on the floor. Teams were also penalized for running into supermarket displays, cameramen, or any other personnel, including the host himself. Unless it was okay to do so, only the runners were allowed into the market. Their partners were required to remain at the checkout counter, give fresh carts to their partners, and unload the groceries at the end. The limit of 5 rule was absent in the original 1960s version, but it was added in this version so the game could be more competitive by preventing one team from overloading their cart with expensive items such as meat, poultry, coffee, laundry detergent, and over-the-counter drugs. Also, during the first Lifetime season, the show had a market monster, such as a guy dressed as a carrot, Frankenstein's monster, King Kong, or something they called Mr. Yuck. I don't have video of every one of these things here, so you're just going to have to take my word for it. If the market monster came near a contestant, or vice versa, the contestant had to turn around and go in the other direction. This was mostly pointless, and it was removed before the first season was over. Now, during the sweep, several bonuses and mini-games were available to increase the contestants' totals. Different bonuses were added throughout the years. Here's just a few of them. First was the traditional bonus. They were 3 jumbo-sized stuffed animals, giant inflated balloons of products, or cardboard promotional signs for products with bonus tags attached to them. They were scattered throughout the market. In order for the bonus to count, the runner had to bring the item back to the checkout before time expired without destroying the bonus item or removing the tag. A runner was allowed to steal an opposing team's bonus if it was left unprotected before getting it to the checkouts. They were worth $50, $100, and $200. A fourth bonus was added in 1993, worth $250, and the limit was 1 per contestant. Coffee and candy. A contestant could grind a bag of coffee beans and or fill a bag with $1 worth of candy, being off by 2 cents either way. These were worth $100 each, later increased to $200. Shopping list. David gave a list of items he wanted brought back to the checkout. There were several variations of the shopping list, including the regular list of 3 items sold in the market. Other variations of the shopping list included getting the specific types and numbers of breads from the International Bread Center, getting 3 kinds of frozen yogurt in a certain order, getting a certain amount and types of fruit from the produce section, getting specific magazines from the magazine rack, or bagging specific flavors of Jelly Belly jelly beans. Successfully completing the shopping list won $250. One variation of the shopping list was called the alphabet game, which is played pretty much the same way, but David would give 3 consecutive letters of the alphabet as well as the products beginning with those letters. The products had to be placed in a mini basket located in the front of the cart to count, and only 1 of each item. This, however, was worth $300. Mystery product. Runners tried to find a product using clues displayed on 3, later 2, television monitors in the market. Finding the correct item won $250. One variation of the mystery product was the $300 movie. Midway through the sweep, David would announce, "Activate the TV monitors," at which point the monitors came into play. Each monitor displayed either the name of one of the movie's stars or certain clues to the movie's title. Unlike the mystery product, however, only 1 movie was available. Manager's Special. Midway through the sweep, David would announce the name of a canned good which could be found in a giant barrel in the front of the market. 3 of them had a red star on the bottom. Finding that item won $200. Super Sandwich. In the front of the market were 3 tables with submarine sandwich ingredients. A roll, 5 meats, 2 cheeses, lettuce, mustard, and mayo. The runner must use all the ingredients to build the sandwich, then wrap it in foil and seal it in a bag with a twist tie, and then put it in their cart to receive a bonus of $200. Cake decorating. In the front of the market were 3 blank cakes. The runner would then have to take a tube of frosting from a display in the back of the market back to their partners at the checkout, and they would then write the show's name and their team number in a circle. If they did that, they won $100. Cracker Jackpot, Jolly Time is Money. A display in the front of the market had several boxes of Cracker Jack or Jolly Time popcorn. The runner emptied the boxes onto a table until they either found a token with the show's logo on it, winning $200, or they just gave up. Once the clock hit 0, a bell signified that the big sweep was over and the runners had to stop what they were doing and return to the checkout. During the final commercial break, the players' groceries were scanned and totaled up. When the show returned, each team's totals, starting with Team 3, were tallied and any bonuses were added to the team's final total. The team with the highest score won their sweep total in cash and then went on to the bonus sweep for $5,000. The other teams received parting gifts. In the bonus sweep, the contestant had to find 3 items in 60 seconds. David would read a clue to the first item, at which point the clock started. The team then ran into the market to find the first item, which was marked with the show's logo. On the back of the item was the clue that led to the second item, and then the clue to the third and final item, behind which was $5,000. In order to win, the team had to find all 3 items in order and had to have their hands on the money before the time ran out. If they fell short, they received $200 for every item they found. Well, that's the basic gameplay structure for Supermarket Sweep. Now we grade it. This was such an awesome show. I grew up watching this show and I still love it to this day. In fact, I'm actually having trouble finding any fault with it. I guess the only issues I have are some of the bonus games that they use during the sweep. While some of them could be accomplished while the contestants were shopping, such as the bonuses, the shopping list, and the mystery product, other games required the contestants to stop and carry out the actual task, such as making a sandwich, grinding coffee, filling up a cup with frozen yogurt, and so on, which could eat up a lot of time that the contestants could be using to shop. Another problem is that if you're Team 3 and don't have a lot of time to begin with, Getting the bonuses may be the only way to stay in the game. Nonetheless, Supermarket Sweep is still one of the best game shows ever created. It also benefited from having one of the better hosts out there in David Ruprecht. You could tell he enjoyed what he was doing, which is something I look for in a game show host. He also didn't take himself too seriously and was able to relate to the contestants. Yeah, he could be silly sometimes, but that's what made him so endearing. He was happy when the contestants won, and he was bummed when they lost. David was the right man for the job and one of the best hosts out there. Supermarket Sweep still holds a special place in my heart, and it gets an A-. Now the part where I'd revive the show if given a chance. I really wouldn't change anything since the show is basically perfect. The only thing I would do different is increase the prize money due to inflation. The mini sweeps would be doubled to 100 for finding the item in 30 seconds and doubled to 200 for finding it in 20. As for the big sweep, the bonus items would be worth from $200 to $500, and the shopping list and the mystery products would be worth $500 each. And I would try to have less of the bonus games where the players had to stop shopping. I would also guarantee a minimum of $1,000 for the winning team, since nowadays their totals would usually exceed that amount. And as for the bonus sweep, the rules would basically be the same, but finding each item was worth $1,000, and finding all three in 60 seconds was $10,000. As for the host, of course I'd bring back David Ruprecht, and then Randy West could also be the announcer. Well, that does it for another classic game show review. I'll try to be back next month with another review of a classic game show. Until then, I'm the Geeky Libertarian. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at LibertyGeek83. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
D